Hey there, my name's Adam, your friendly Sasquatch, and today we are doing a quick video review of Olight's Seeker 4 Mini. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. I wanted to cover this one because it's a smaller light, but it's a very high performance light. I've seen a lot of high performance lights come out lately, but they're all really big and bulky. And this is a nice kind of smaller compact size. As you can see, it kind of just disappears in your hand, making it convenient to pack away in a glove box or in your backpack or an emergency kit, something like that. It comes with all the features that the bigger Olights have, such as magnetic charging and stuff like that, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the size factor was really compelling to me. This little light also happens to have the UV LEDs inside. So, when you're not using it as a flashlight, you can use it for checking bills, you can use it to charge glow-in-the-dark objects, or you could use it to see if your hotel room's been cleaned or not. Let's go ahead and dive into the features of this particular light, how you use it, and who I think it's going to be a good fit for. First, before we dive into the specific features of this light, let's go ahead and talk about what you get in the box when you order one of these. First is you do get the light itself. It comes with a pocket clip pre-installed, which is really nice. And the battery is included. It's a rechargeable battery. So, that's included. You don't need to worry about purchasing that separately. We'll show you how to charge it and all that kind of stuff in a little bit. You get the proprietary magnetic charger. Has the USB-A port on one end and the MCC3 port on the other. We'll show you how that works in a little bit. A lanyard, if that's your thing. And of course, the obligatory warranty, instructions, and safety information, which you don't need. Because you're watching this video, you'll know everything there is to know about this light. Bringing the light back in the picture, as you can see, the light comes with everything you need, but not a lot of extra fluff that you don't. So I like that, pretty simple packaging. It's everything you need to get this light off the ground and running. As far as the features of the light, on the end here, we do have two primary LEDs, and then a third LED, which is that UV LED I was telling you about a little bit earlier. You do have a nice little strike bezel on here. It's protruding from the lens a little bit, so if you do need to break glass or defend yourself, it will work well for that. On the tail cap end here, we do have a magnet, which is how the magnetic charger attaches. The light will charge in about an hour and a half or so. Super convenient, just pop it off when you're done and you're good to go. The other thing I really like about the magnet is it will stick to other things that are made of iron. So if you're working on your car, you can stick this to the car hood, or if you're trying to change a tire, you can maybe stick this to the side of your car, so you have a little bit better light to work with. So that is a nice touch. I really do like that there's a magnet on the back of the light. Just, you kind of find it being handy in more ways than you would expect. As I said earlier, there is a pocket clip, and it's a nice stiff pocket clip. It is a tip up and tip down carry pocket clip. I personally think the kind of leading lip here is a little small for tip down carry, but for tip up carry, it's very easy to use. On the back here, you have some holes in the tail cap. Makes it easy to attach the lanyard, which is a convenient carrying method if that's the way you want to go. So overall, it's a pretty simple light. It's made of aluminum. It's anodized very nicely. The machining is super smooth. I don't see a lot of machine marks or anything like that. Overall, it's a very high quality build, just like you'd expect from anything Olight. Okay, before I go into how you use this light, let's just quickly talk about how bright this light is and what kinds of runtimes you can expect when you're in the different brightness settings. So the lowest mode is Moonlight Mode, and that is 2 lumens, and that will last for 12 days, which is a long time. Then you have low mode, which is 15 lumens, and that will last for 33 hours and 30 minutes, so a day and a half, essentially. Then you have medium mode, which is 120 lumens, which is very usable. It's 5 hours and 20 minutes, which, again, that's a very good runtime. And then high, we have kind of a split here. We have 600 lumens for peak output, which will last for 50 minutes. And then we have 120 lumens. After 50 minutes, it'll step down and we'll run for another 25 minutes. So that's pretty impressive. And then in the turbo mode, the 12,000 lumens will run for 3 minutes. And then it will step down to 600 lumens, which will run for 41 minutes. Then it'll step down to 120 lumens and run for 25 more minutes. So really good run times for such a small package. I'm super impressed. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at how you actually get into these different settings. The push button is pretty simple, just a simple push. There is a light in the middle of the button to tell you how charged your light currently is. As you can see, it turned on into the high setting. It does have memory, so when you press and hold, it'll cycle through the different settings. And when I turn the light off and turn it back on, it'll come back on in the last used setting. As far as the special modes, you just double click to get into turbo. So double click, you can see it's super bright now. That's 1,200 lumens. And then for strobe warning, you triple click. 1, 2, 3, and now you have the strobe. To turn it off, press the button, turn it back on. Back into low mode. Again, it will not save the memory for strobe because it has a special function. To get into the Moonlight mode, all you have to do is press and hold the side button until the two LEDs come on in the lowest setting. Moonlight mode is super dim. It would be good for reading maps, maybe checking your glove box at night, stuff like that, but it's not very bright. It almost looks like it's not on, but if you look in there, it is on. The final mode that I want to talk about is the UV mode, and that's something that's kind of special to this light. Not a lot of flashlights have a UV light built right in. So again, if this is something that you could use at your workplace, or you just want to be able to check things, see if they've been properly cleaned, could be a really appealing feature of this light. When the light is off, go ahead and quickly double press, and you'll see the UV light turn on. It kind of has a bluish color when you shine it on your hand. As you can see, when I kind of point it toward the camera a little bit, there's just one LED, the one that's closest to the button, that illuminates. To demonstrate the UV light, I just turned the lights in my studio down a little bit, and you can see I have this blue kind of color. That's the UV light. And you can see on these bills I have on the table, the left-hand side there, the security strip is showing up super bright, just like a vibrant neon yellow or neon green. It's very obvious that these are real bills. So that's one example where UV light could come in handy if you need to check to see if currency is authentic or not. Okay, so that's kind of all the features of this particular light. Let's go ahead and take it outside so you can see it in action. Okay guys, we are in the testing area, aka my backyard. So we have the Seeker 4 Mini. Let's go ahead and turn the UV mode on first, just so you can see what that looks like, and then we'll go through the different brightness settings of the light itself. Okay, so here's the UV mode. It's not going to be super visible on the camera from a distance, but if I put my hand in front of it, you can definitely tell that there is a blue light on. But again, it's not really intended to be a flashlight. It's a UV light for identifying currencies, checking to see if things have been cleaned, etc. So let's go ahead and jump out of the UV mode and into the 2 lumens mode. So this is the Moonlight mode. And you're obviously not going to be able to see much because it's not intended for reaching out and touching things. But if I put my hand in front of it, you can clearly see my hand. And if you're trying to read a map or just check around under a car seat, something like that, that would be bright enough. Let's go ahead and bump up to the low mode, which is 15 lumens. And here's the low mode. And it might be a little hard to see on camera, but the ground right in front of me, I can barely see the back wall. The low mode would be good for things like putting your keys in the front door, stuff like that, where you just don't need that much light. So here's the medium mode. This is 50 lumens, and you're going to start to see a little bit more here. You can see the side of the house when I shine my light at it. You can see the back there. You don't see much of a hot spot, but you can definitely see the back wall there. Again, this would be good for checking under the bed, stuff like that, where you don't need to illuminate a very large area. Stepping up to the high mode, we can definitely see a lot more. The ground's very well illuminated. I can see the entire back wall pretty easily. This is, really very usable. So for a parking lot, stuff like that, this is going to be plenty bright. Stepping up to the turbo mode, we can see that this is quite a bit brighter. I do want to point out that this beam is super floody. There's not a real defined hot spot. It's just illuminating the whole area like a floodlight. And that's what you get when you have 3 LEDs in the reflector. You're going to get kind of some unusual reflections and stuff, and it's just going to really spill the light all over. It's not going to produce a real tight, concentrated hot spot. And that's okay for a light like this, for just general purpose use and stuff. This is going to be a really usable light for everyday carry, an emergency kit, anything like that. So yeah, so that's the turbo mode. Let's go ahead and kick it into strobe by triple clicking. And again, this is the maximum brightness of 1200 lumens, and the strobe mode is very disorienting and very bright. So those are your settings for the Seeker 4 Mini. Okay guys, so that was the outdoor testing, and as you can see, this is a very capable light, and no matter what you throw at it, it's probably going to be up to the challenge. I think it's a great light for everyday carry, emergency kits, camping, anytime you're outside and you really need just to kind of flood a general area, maybe a parking lot, something like that. If you work late at night and you need, kind of a security tool as you're getting to and from the car at night, stuff like that, this is a great light for that. I could also see this being a great light for shopkeepers, nightclubs, stuff like that, where you may need to, kind of look for things under the bar. You need to check bills to see if they're counterfeit or not, stuff like that. This is a nice size. It's not, a huge bulky thing on your hip, but it comes with quite a punch, and the extra UV feature is kind of nice. All right, so that's my quick and dirty review. Overall, it's a super high quality light, and I highly recommend it. If you found this review helpful, make sure to hit that like button below. It helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell icon so you're the first to be notified when I release new videos just like this one. Cheers!